in the valley. This is going to be in the Northridge area. We're on Tampa, and right in that vehicle you see right there is the one that is going to start moving right there. Now they're calling this a stolen vehicle, and now there's some talk and some, trying to figure out a lot going on out here. This is a very fluid situation. They called it an unreported stolen, and even I was like, what does that exactly mean? So apparently the driver of this vehicle took this truck without permission. There was a 911 call. The driver of that vehicle, the owner of that vehicle, actually telling LAPD that this vehicle had been stolen. They did spot it pretty quickly, and that pursuit was on. Now, there was a minor collision at the corner of, I believe it's going to be Winnetka and DeSoto earlier on, and you don't see much damage to this heavy vehicle, but they were checking to see if there were injuries. Hopefully there are none. Now, LAPD is looking at this, and they're trying to keep the public safe the best they can. They have a helicopter above. That's going to be one of the LAPD helicopters. I don't think he's going to be in the shot. And you're going to say, well, there's nobody behind him. Well, they are in tracking mode right now. LAPD, they had a couple of black and whites behind him, and they are trying to work out a plan, maybe get some spike strips in front of him, because this vehicle not driving very fast today, but that could change, but just by the simple change of attitude of that driver. You can see him driving right there. We've watched him actually stop at the red lights. That is a very heavy piece of machinery down there. That is a large Ford truck, and that what it's towing is what they call a concrete pumper. So that basically moves concrete. So that's a heavy diesel engine inside there, and you can see some of those hoses in the back. So this is a heavy equipment vehicle. Right now, though, the driver driving relatively safe, and of course that's what everybody's worried about right now. They just don't want to see anybody get hurt, not even that suspect. LAPD handling this with kid gloves this morning and basically going into tracking mode, keeping an eye on that suspect.
Do we know if this was stolen out of a commercial property, or do you know how it was stolen?
No, and that's a good question, Jenna, because a lot of times we see these things and it's a crime of opportunity. We'll see like a homeless person jump into a vehicle that has the keys in it. This one, I'm not really sure what's going on. There could be some sort of dispute between workers and maybe the owner of the company. That's really all just speculation, Jen. I just kind of put that together because we just don't know. And when they say something like unreported stolen, but then they did confirm it with the owner of that vehicle that it had been taken from him. So there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of gray areas, but what's not gray is that the driver of that vehicle is not supposed to be driving it right now. It has not pulled over when LAPD had the lights and sirens on behind it earlier on, but it is being tracked right now by LAPD. They probably are looking at the size of this vehicle, morning traffic. We've actually seen a lot of light traffic out here right now, but that's what they're concerned of, is biggest concern. Now, LAPD, they have definitely not just walked away from it. They have not given this up by any means, but they have fallen very far back. There's the helicopter. That's the LAPD helicopter right there. And they're just keeping an eye on it, and they're calling it out, the locations. The ground units, they're nearby, maybe in the area. So if this does come to an end, they'll be in position to try to catch that suspect, especially if he walks or runs away from that vehicle. But right now, it's kind of a cat and mouse game. They're just keeping an eye on it, seeing where it's going.
It seems to me that this driver is somewhat driving cautiously. I know that this is you mentioned a heavy piece of equipment that he's hauling there behind him, but it seems like aware of that, right, with the turns and abiding by the stop signs and the signals so far.
Roxy, that's the same thing we're seeing, and I could not agree more. Next time we have the position where we can get SkyFOX to look at that driver, a lot of times we'll just kind of look in and we'll see that driver, and I get this feeling that he is really stressed out right now. It's like it's like one of these, he made a bad decision and now he's trying to figure out how to get out of it. That's the way it seems. And it does seem like that this person knows what he's driving and how he's driving. You can see right there, I'll put up some speeds. He is slower than the posted speed limit for sure. And like you said, stopping at every stoplight, and and making every cautious move. But right now, tracking mode in the valley, and they're going to keep an eye on this vehicle.
Okay, Stu, why don't you keep an eye on things for us, and we will check in with you as we continue to follow this slow-moving pursuit, I guess you could call it. Thank you. In the meantime, good morning. If you're just joining us, it is 7:30 on this Wednesday morning. I'm in for Melvin.
Yes, you are,
Yes,
and
you
welcome
are.
aboard. Let's go over to Samada for some weather.
Yeah, and I'm filling in for Maria. Good morning, Jen. Jen is Jen, everyone.
I am me. That's right.
Jen is Jen. Good morning. What a beautiful start to the day. Taking a live look right now at Catalina. The harbor looks good. A great day for some boating as well. Lots of sunshine. If you're out on the water, it looks good. If you're out on the island, temperatures there are going to be very nice in the 70s. But farther away, getting back onto land, we're looking at temperatures farther away again from the marine influence. We're looking at temperatures sizzling. Another hot day in store for Pasadena at 95 degrees. Hotter still for the Inland Empire, and we're going to be looking for these numbers to get increasingly hotter getting to the weekend. An excessive heat warning remains in place for the Inland Empire as well as our high desert communities. Victorville could be right around 105.